Welcome back to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the only podcast on the Marshland Media conglomeration to break down episode by episode Lucha Underground, the collaboration between AAA and the El Rey Network. I am one co-host. My name is Sean. How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm James and Sean. We forgot before recording our ritualistic zip zap zop.
Oh my gosh, we can't fool James. You know I love me some wrestling. I cannot talk about wrestling without getting my zip zap zop in though.
We got to do our two-man zip zap zop.
We have to do our ritualistic two-man zip zap zop. I agree. Okay, ready?
Yes.
I'm hoping you.
Okay.
Zip. Line.
Zop. No, I messed it up. Wait, I thought you were gonna say zap. Oh.
Line.
Zap.
Welcome to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, a podcast where two friends get to watch Lucha Underground together and talk about it every week. Sometimes we zip zap zop, but sometimes we don't. But we always have a good time.
But maybe it's sometimes not just friends get to watch it together.
Oh, what does that mean? Are you breaking up with me?
No, I'm saying sometimes family watches it with you.
Oh, you watched this week with family, didn't you?
I think the day before Thanksgiving, my mom and stepfather came over, and they were here for Thanksgiving as well. And I said, Mom, you love wrestling. I want to show you Lucha Underground now. This episode, not the best one to have as an introduction because a long ladder match, because I want to show like bing, 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 that kind of Lucha Libre wrestling.
Yeah.
But
and specifically like a long ladder match with two very short matches as well.
Yeah.
It's like, which is like, okay, I'm glad you picked up on that too. I kind of wish they gave the other matches a little bit more time to cook.
Yeah, and a little less on the ladders.
Honestly, I like longer matches. I don't think this was the longer match. I like it looked a little. Yeah, I wish that got tightened up too.
Tighten me up. But discussing this, my mom was saying, oh, this looks cool. I discussed like what Lucha Libre meant. I'm like, it's just Mexican style wrestling. That's just what they call it.
It's a culture.
She thought that it was a specific wrestler or something like that. I was like, no. And I brought up Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, that's why we're watching this. And she says, oh, that's not one of the podcasts I listen to. And I said, neither does anyone else, Mom. Until this week, Sean, we have like 35 people listening.
Whoa, that is terrifying.
That's a 10 times increase.
I gotta go. I quit.
No, Sean, please stay.
Okay, zap.
Zip.
That's awesome. I'm glad. And if you're new into the podcast, welcome in. And I wrote something down. If you went back to listen to the old episodes,
yeah,
I think it was the first episode.
Maybe.
I'm talking out my ass, crazy out of pocket. I say something like, watching wrestling gets me horny while also not getting me horny. And you were rightly asked, huh? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't explain it.
Because it's all about popping, baby. But then you see a man and you're like, ugh, gross, no homo.
No, hella homo.
I like that. Responding to a no homo as a hella homo.
Are you kidding me?
Our friend Mars, also my coworker, he has "It's okay to say gay" a sticker of that on his water bottle. And I point at it and say, wait, it is? And then Mars, going into kind of a compassionate, scholarly explanation of like, oh, yeah, of course it is, James. It's okay. And I go, man, that's hella gay. And he's like, no, not like that, not like that.
Hella homo, though, for true. I don't know. I was like, it's sexual, but it's not sexual. Like, you can like, I don't know.
Why is this the thing that you're saying you're out of pocket for? Not things like, yeah, this Mil Muertes guy, I guess, has only been wrestling for like 2 years.
Well, that's not out of pocket. That's just being wrong. That's being mistaken. there's a difference between like, what are you talking about versus you just don't know. Oh, you are mistaken. But I was watching Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida from Full Gear 2023. Great fucking match. And it was like, I ended up writing down, like, wrestling is undeniably sexy if you're comfortable with consensual violence, right? And consensual violence, horny as hell. All partners on board, very visceral. Good stuff.
Oh, if Sean's walls could talk, am I right, ladies?
No, they don't talk, they only come. That sucks. I hate that. Cut that out.
No, it's not getting cut unless you give me a better alternative.
No, I'm just going to plow through what I was saying. It makes wrestling a uniquely comfortable space for people to sort of fire off those pleasure systems in the brain. Like, I can't think of anything that, like, really hits that, like, sexy violence the way wrestling does, right?
Yeah, not even, like, bondage porn, because that takes it too far.
Bondage porn takes it a little far, and it's also, like, and it is sex.
Yeah.
Where, where this is, you know, it's not like other sports. Like, there is consent here because they're telling a story, and it's not blatant sex. It's suggestive, and there's something even sexier about suggestiveness, if you ask me. That's personal taste and personal taste.
Okay, so midnight tokusatsu, that kind of stuff, tokusatsu things, like for any new listeners who don't know, I do mostly speak in Sentai. It's discussing Super Sentai. Tokusatsu is just a special effects term for Japanese cinema. So things like Super Sentai, aka Power Rangers, if that's what you're familiar with, Kamen Rider, these things. There's some stuff called midnight tokusatsu. Generally, these superhero shows are shown on like a Sunday morning for children, whereas midnight tokusatsu, that's geared more for teens and adults. The stuff towards teens, I would say that's consensual, sexy violence, because boy, oh boy, there's some boobies on display.
Whoa. And it's like, it's not, it's uniquely positioned, especially in this country, because you could also throw in like action movies and certain things like that. But for my money, the way it's presented as a live art form, nothing is that visceral without being that blatant. So like, and I'm writing down and I'm thinking, I am using the view of lens, but midnight tokusatsu absolutely applies. What makes good professional wrestling, because it is in this unique space, and what makes, great professional wrestling, that it needs to be like a safe place to and for everyone. I think specifically to be sexually and asexually horny in. Like, we talk a lot about getting horny for stuff, and I think that's what I was trying to say before. That it's like, sexually, yeah, it's horny as hell. But can you get horny with it asexually? Like, if you were not interested in it, can you still kind of feel those synapses of like, yeah, this is visceral excitement? Can you feel that in a safe place in your wrestling company? And I think that's a good rule of thumb, not just like for wrestling, but for like any group of people doing a thing. Literally any group of people doing a thing. Can you let people get horny sexually and asexually? Improv, music, sports teams, restaurants. If it's a group of people doing a thing, it needs to be a safe place to get horny in, both sexually and asexually. And I think that's what I was talking about that episode. Like, long story long, places need to be comfortably and safely horny for everyone.
So you are saying it needs a live aspect to us? What about
Nope,
Equus?
That's not what I was saying.
Oh,
at
you
all.
said, yeah, but
I mentioned the word live.
But then you brought up live a lot, so Equus, baby.
I did not.
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
Okay.
A few minutes ago, you brought up, because when I brought up tokusatsu, you said, oh, but this has a live aspect to it. So how about you suck your own words in through your fart box?
All right, then yes.
And your fart box is your goddamn nose.
All right,
Because you're
what
always
else was I talking
smelling
about?
those farts.
Hey, James, what was my point, though?
I don't know. You said I was talking out of
Okay.
pocket, and then you brought up being horny and not
Welcome to
horny.
Lucha Underground, Season 2, Episode 6. This episode, Gift of the Gods ladder match.
When you say, hey, can you edit that? Did you mean this entire section?
Jesus Christ. I had such a nice thing written out about like how you need wrestling in other places should be a safe place to be sexually and asexually horny in. That you can get those like horny feelings, but not actually necessarily be sexually driven by it. And that any sort of like place of a group of people doing a thing and kind of coming together, that's an important detail that you can sort of be like asexually horny in, for lack of a better word. That's what I was talking about. You could edit that out.
We can also say this is the fault of us not doing that zip, zap, zop in the beginning.
We should have hit that zip, zap, zop pretty hard. Hold on, real quick. Hey, James, zoop.
No.
We opened in Mill's meditation chamber this week. Mill has a meditation chamber. It looks very nice, and he has to summon Katrina in because he's all pissed that his enemies get to fight each other, but not him. Oh, well. Katrina breaks down. She's known Mill since he was a scared little boy. How old is she?
Pronounce this correctly. She says, boy.
Boy.
How she says boy is very cute and funny.
How old
Eternal.
She must be.
Ageless.
Must be eternal as fuck.
She's a demoness in living flesh, Razikel style.
Hell yeah. She lets Pascual Mendoza know Mill's name before a building fell on him. Pascual would have never found his way out of his tomb of that collapsed building, so Mill goozles Katrina by the throat, demands Penta and Puma. Katrina says no and disappears.
He says, give me Penta and Puma or give me 1,000 deaths.
Yeah, Mill is a dead guy.
No, Mill died 1,000 times. That's the song.
Mill died 1,000 times. Okay, cool. Mill died 1,000 times.
There you
At
go.
the desk, Vampiro, thank you, raises the roof. Where the heck is Mill? He's not in his chair. But Vampiro, and I glazed over this, full on raising the roof. Let's fucking go. First match of the card. Sexy Star, the returning Sexy Star versus Cobra Moon. Something evil and ancient versus heroic and new. As we've talked before.
The latter being Sexy Star, of course.
I mean, yeah.
Eventually.
Oh, wait, evil and ancient? Or yeah, okay, that's what latter means. I forgot what latter means.
Oh, wait, I might have meant former.
I think...
Whatever, I meant the evil. You were implying that the heroic was Sexy Star, but I was implying because in a couple years she will be ancient news and evil.
I thought you were referring to a ladder, Ladder, because after Lucha Underground closes, Sexy Star can't even get a job as an electrician climbing a ladder.
Ew.
Oh, that was meaner than I wanted it to be.
Yeah, she could totally get a job as an electrician.
Yeah, that's a union gig too. She'd be taken care of.
Yeah, and most electricians are known for just wrestling and breaking each other's arms on purpose.
Hell. Sexy Star is back in the temple after being kidnapped, moth-napped, if you will, by Marty the Moth and his sister. We saw last week, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, the whole Mac is like, hey, Sexy, are you okay? No, they're after me. I'll kill him. No, not him, her. So we know about Marty's sister. Could it be Cobra Moon?
See, that's what I thought. But she would, unless we find out that Mac was able to say, hey, let's duke this out in the ring. That's what you really want, isn't it, Marty and Cobra? And that's why this is happening, because she would have seen Cobra Moon and been terrified. That should, writing-wise, that would make sense. Why is she afraid of her, or why isn't she afraid of her? What I thought was going to happen is she has these like compression tapes on, Sexy Star, on her shoulders, but then there's a random one on her arm. I thought this would have been so fucking good. That's not for medical purposes or rehab purposes. She pulls that off and it's a moth tattoo, and she's part of the moth family now.
Moth, Marty, the Dexter guy.
Moth!
I'm very excited. That's true. Okay, so yes. Oh, that makes it even more exciting. Yes.
Speaking of him, he might have spoiled something to us in an Instagram comment.
Oh, that he might be a Dexter?
Yeah.
Or did he get more specific than that?
No, it seems like he might be a crazy murderer by the end of Lucha Underground.
I mean, I don't know if that's maybe the murderer part. He did full on kidnap and then like leave tied up in a torture room Sexy Star at the end of Ultima Lucha. Like That's not a huge leap for us to guess.
Or is the sister just that moth that he carries around?
Ooh.
And it's a poisonous.
Sometimes you get disappointed that your theories aren't like the Cobra Moon is most likely not the sister, and your theories are like, oh, I'm not. But sometimes your theories get holes punched in, and it just makes you more excited because you're like, now the sister could be a moth in a jar. Like that's fucking let's go.
I think it is the moth in a jar. That's what he is hearing, but it is him in a wig. I'm still going with that theory because we haven't seen them two in the same room.
Will we get a Norman Bates?
Yes.
Who knows? But Sexy Star is back in the ring with a second match, Cobra Moon. Yes.
Can I say
Please.
During the match, I turned to Nicole and I was like, wait a second. What if Cobra Moon is Marty's sister? And Nicole just goes, I don't know. I don't care. I don't have a frame of reference for this. The only reason I'm watching this is because 3 of the 4 people here are interested in wrestling.
Did you tell them all it was Thunder Rosa? And they could all be like, is she on the WWE? And you'd have to be like, no. And they'd be like, okay.
No, but they were very excited to see a future Ricochet and Santos Escobar.
Hell yeah. Well, this match is Cobra Moon presents Sexy with a very elusive problem. Up kicks her in the pussy to create distance and forces Sexy Star to whiff on some running boots. And I like that it specifically is not like, she's not just running in with all of her stuff. Like, the problem with Cobra Moon is, like a cobra, she is very elusive. She's got that wiggly spine you can't quite nail down, you know?
Oh, I've done it before. I've taken a cobra and just taken a hammer and nail to it.
Okay, what? No, James.
It was talking to me and said like, hey guys, I'm Satan. And I said, no, I'm not ready for this, sir. And I had to nail him down.
Hell yeah. Shouts out to VeggieTales teaching us how to handle Satan when he talks to us in the form of a snake. We hammer that shit away. And then we sing a song about, I don't fucking care, ladybugs.
Or, I mean, you could sing the James Lindsay the Third song. Not going to say his stage name because it's offensive.
Is that a... Fuck, now I can't ask follow-up questions.
It's J.R. Word.
Oh.
He has a song called
yes,
Hammer, and it's so, or Night of the Hammer. It's very good. Go check out his music. So good.
Hell yeah. Speaking of so good, the Mac halfway through the match shows up, and literally, I had always very stoked to see the Mac. Like, that's my biggest note from this match. Mac comes out, and I'm very stoked to see the Mac. With the spirit of Selena and Celia Cruz rolled into one, Sexy tries to up the pace to disrupt Cobra's very methodical style. Again, very elusive, very slow paced, this Cobra Moon. Vampiro wonders why Mac is out here, because I guess he doesn't watch the show. Because we saw him stand up for Sexy. That's, I don't know, Vampiro, watch the show.
Get the dailies, my dude.
Get those dailies. Cobra Moon hits like a Shane Douglas-esque franchiser. She puts her head in the DDT and then she falls on her butt. But it's not quite enough yet. Looks like Cobra's trying to do a little bit more damage. Sexy rolls up in a modified pendulum stretch, but sees something in the crowd. Creepy as Marty applauds as Cobra takes advantage of the distracted Sexy. Dragon Sleeper. Sexy is forced to tap 2 minutes and 59 seconds.
Damn.
Real short match, yeah.
One of them chops the other in the chest, and at that moment, my mom said, I'd be afraid of breaking my tit.
Shouts out to Margie. You know what? It's become...
And this is truly what she said when people are like, well, that's just James writing in his mother's voice. My comedy is 90% absurdicism and then 10% a parody of my mother.
I think that sounds healthy as hell for comedy. Yeah, I like it. Shouts out to your mom. Everyone, guys, let's just protect Margie's tits. Whatever we do, we're just gonna protect.
No,
no, too much. All right.
No.
I'm saying protect, so they're not. We'll move on.
We gotta protect tit.
I deserve that. But we also do.
That's getting bleeped. This isn't Patreon.
Thank you. Famous B and his parking lot of deals is back again. He has dominated the world of underground fighting and punches to the dick with sound effects added in post. And now he's here to help you. You think those? Oh, you think those punches to the dick were real?
Yeah, I think the sounds at least were real. Maybe they have those talking penises and they act like that dude from Police Academy. They can make any noise they want. Yeah.
Yeah. If your dick was Michael Winslow, do you think you'd be happier?
Yeah, probably.
Yo, me too.
Nicole would be.
Yeah. Not for me. I don't know who would be happier. Really. So in Famous Beasts, parking lot of teams.
Sound guys, when you're doing background work, would hate your dick.
Oh God, I haven't done background work in weeks.
Because you've been on fucking strike, you idiot. That's why.
Oh yeah. Famous Beasts parking lot of deals. We really should have done our zip zap zop today.
And also, if it's been weeks, sir, you were scabbing.
No, I was taking strike work against the wishes of the union. That's what I was doing.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I wasn't. What did you say?
Scabbing?
Oh, I don't think I was doing that.
Okay.
I was just taking strike work against the wishes of the union.
No, yeah, that's scabbing.
Oh, well, you know who else is fucking scabbing? Fucking me as I'm picking at these scabs watching Famous B. Ask us to call 423-GET-FAMED. Let Famous B teach you how to be a famous fighter. And do a Mr. Show TV screen scene change.
Oh, yeah, it was very good. And I loved how he said, do you want to know how I got my name? Because I'm famous.
Yeah, famous.
Of course, that's why. We know this, sir.
Hell yeah, Famous B.
Also, everyone was chanting at Marty. I think creepy bastard. Creepy bastard.
Yes, they were. Because Marty the Moth is a creepy bastard. For a guy that came out of nowhere, it's very interesting with to be this sort of comedy character and now to be I'm frightened. Marty, and we've called out Martin Casal a couple times. I've recommended people follow his Twitch a couple times, and I think you still should. It's a good Twitch channel, but I am I don't like that he knows who we are. He frightens me, James.
No.
He frightens me.
He's cool.
Well, that's because you're not the one who's going to get kidnapped into his basement, James. That's me.
I'm cool with it.
And I'm not, is my point.
So,
yeah.
I don't know what happens when you called, but the phone number was a real number that you could call.
Really?
Yeah, it would have been 555 if it was a fake one.
Wait, 423-GET-FAME.
Oh, it looks like it might have been to buy shirts or something. It was a promotional tool. Wait, I just did. It's Famous B saying thanks for calling. Then you can leave a message why you think he should make you famous. It says he might call you back.
I love that. That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it probably costs I don't know how much money it took out of your phone bill to do it, but it doesn't sound like a long message. It's not a conversation. You're just leaving a message. I feel like if it was one of those talk per minute, those Zelda tip lines. How do I beat Ganondorf? And yet someone has to talk through it. Maybe. I feel like, and it costs a bunch of money a minute.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been that if it was a message. If it was a recorder.
No, so Insane Clown Posse had a line that you could call and it would just give you updates on stuff that's happening. This is before the internet or before everyone having the internet at their fingertips. So you could call and it would give you information on either an album coming out, a single release, maybe some street team stuff, and you could leave messages. And on one of Twisted's albums, I think it ends with a message from someone talking about, and keep in mind, this isn't 2000 or 2001, talking about how they ate out their first butthole and they were like, it's great. You guys should try it.
Oh man, as ICP on the cutting edge of everything.
It's technically Twisted.
Twisted, excuse me. Okay, then Twisted on the cutting edge of everything, and ICP getting all the credits.
Pretty much.
Fuck, hey, now that we have 30 listeners, if you know anyone that called this Famous B line, I don't know, call us on the Discord and let us know how that went. We can do it in message format, so you don't have to actually talk.
Sean, just keep messaging Famous B. He's probably got a Twitter or something, and then get him on the show when we can ask him.
Okay, that's unfortunately Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
You know, I'm not, no.
X. Mr. Show TV Screen turns into the Dive Dojo where Ray is training Dragon Azteca Jr. There's no time for TV. Training is most important to get Dragon ready for his destiny. Ooh. We also smooth into a little video package of King Cuerno in his hunting room, surrounded by animal heads. In his log cabin, Cuerno doesn't die. He loves causing the death of his prey, however. When killing, he feels no remorse, only satisfaction. And by defeating his rival Fénix and defending his title in the ladder match tonight, he will ascend from hunter and become a god. King Cuerno hunts tonight.
Yeah, he says, I will not be just a hunter. I will be a god. So when we get to 50 listeners, I won't be just a podcaster. I will be a god. Help me ascend to deity, listeners. Tell a friend.
Yeah, and when when we get to 50 listeners, I will not just be a podcaster host. I will be a guy with a sandwich, for I will have made a sandwich. Help me, listeners. Get a sandwich.
So you're just saying you're going to pretty much have a stay of abstinence. You are going to, what's that thing when Good Friday happens or something?
Oh, fasting.
You give it up for Lent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're going to abstain from eating sandwiches until we get 50 listeners, because it's not like getting 50 listeners will help you afford a sandwich, because we still will not be making money.
No, yeah, that's true. No, I'm going to keep eating sandwiches. I'm just like, after we get to 50, I'll have another sandwich.
Okay, but maybe this, from now on, you make your roommate make you all your sandwiches.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that to Torchy.
Oh, yeah. See, I told you guys, I caught him.
Hey, I really do. There is something, again, I think this is like one of the things I love so much about Lucha Underground is it's not just a pre-match like I want to fight you selling the fight. It does sell the fight, but it also sells Cuerno's character, knowing what he wants. He wants to be more than just a hunter. He wants to be a god. You know, we know that ambition is a very powerful force in this character's life, and it's fucking cool as hell. I love how they do that.
Before we get into our next match, do you want me to read the live commentary that my mother was providing me for last night's Survivor Series?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I missed Survivor. I didn't get to watch the Survivor Series yet.
Okay, so there might be spoilers.
This will be a good little preview for me.
Okay. Charlotte Flair is so freaking beautiful. Becky Lynch is also gorgeous. My girls won. Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, and forgot the other wild child chick. I would have chance seeing Randy Orton's return tonight for COVID-19. Maybe she meant from COVID-19. No, he comes back and he says, I'm here for COVID. I hope it's against it. Like he's coming to actually punch. Maybe this entire COVID thing, it's been a fake myth perpetrated by the WWE, kind of like that gobbler guy.
Gobbledygooker.
And then all of a sudden, COVID-19 pops out from underneath the ring and says, I'm going to get you, Randy. And Randy says, not on my watch, and just decks him once in the face and says, the best vaccine is hard fucking muscle, baby.
Okay, but my biggest fear when you started that particular note, so it is an anti-vax propaganda piece.
Yeah, just saying having good health, but also it's not real. That's what they're saying. COVID's not real.
Worse. Oh, okay, that is worse, actually.
Then she says, Cody has some good moves, too. WTF is this? 5 question marks. CM Punk? What? I don't think she likes CM Punk. And then tear emojis. Then over 17,000 WWE fans at the Allstate Arena. Sounding like a fucking commentator saying that.
I'm convinced your mom is paid by WWE.
Probably.
To make minor appearances on this podcast. You guys like Lucha Underground? Well, you should be watching WWE. Yes.
But why is she so aggressively against Dominic Mysterio?
Because I don't know. I still don't know. I like Dominic. I think he's a nice little boy.
That's why I brought up Lucha Underground. When Rey Mysterio came on, I nudge Nicole and I say, my mom hates his son. And she says, oh my God, I do. And I say, I bring that up on Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. And she's like, wait, what? No, don't do that. Also, that's not a show I listen to.
Ah, damn it. I just like the idea of you watching wrestling the same way like parents watch their children in a musical. Like, just, my mother hates his son. But it's a small town, so we're just very nice to each other. That's awesome. Shouts out to Margie. Thank you for guesting on this show, whether you knew you were going to or not. Prince Puma versus Pentagon Jr., the rematch is coming up next. At the request of Penta and at the caution of General Manager Katrina. Before we get into it, this match was crazy. This match is under 5 minutes, and they do so much.
Yeah.
This is my big go out of your way to find. It's insane. It really, we've said this before about other matches, and it's not to take away from those, but like, I don't think I've ever been so flabbergasted to find out this was less than 5 minutes. Like, to look at the time and be like, wow, that was no time at all.
You got to come over for some quick hits, man.
I do. Well, the last time I came over for quick hits, my friend had a stroke and died.
Yeah, so you want to know what? Maybe I'll come over to you so one of my friends dies.
Sounds good. Give me a list. I'll throw them in a hat.
Friends dying.
Yes.
Okay, not like matches we could do. You will be choosing. I didn't have that opportunity because if I did, you want to know whose name I would have just jammed a bunch in there?
Oh, no.
James McCollum.
No, I love James. But I love James. And for the record, I will not be choosing. The hat will be choosing. Matt starts out. Matt is dragging Vampiro to a dark place by asking him to fill in first-time viewers on Penta, the luchador carrying Vampiro's own torch down a dark path. Pentagon is going through some shit. Puma is trying to find his place in this world of villains and crooks and ne'er-do-wells. It is a battle of light. It's a battle of light and dark, but no real villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that.
Well, I mean, this man keeps breaking people's arms, and that's their livelihood.
He hasn't broken anyone's arm all year.
Yeah, he has.
Who?
Mills.
Yeah, but Mills also kind of like very evil. Very cool. Shouts out to all our Mill fans out there, including James.
We'll get to someone else who's now a fan, but that's in a little bit.
Hell yeah.
He also tried to break someone else's arm, but I forget who. Someone saved him. Didn't he try breaking Evil Lisa's arm and Puma saved someone from that arm break?
I don't think this year.
Yes, it was this season.
Not Evilise. Okay, then you're probably right. We'll look back. Interesting. He's not full hero, but he's like, I would call him anti-hero, I think.
I think only because how much the crowd is behind him that they are giving him this ambiguous reputation.
Well, and also they gave him Vampiro, who is notoriously an ambiguous. Like, they knew hooking him up with Vampiro, a certified legend, it is going to sort of add to that ambiguity of whether he's a good guy or bad guy, or is he just getting cheers? You know what I mean?
A certified legend? No, a certified poon hunter. Yes. He should have been with Cuerno.
Okay, what?
Vampiro fucked a lot. Like, women were fawning over him nonstop in Mexico.
You can be a certified legend and a certified poon hunter.
I think he would rather be known for being a certified poon hunter. Actually, he didn't need to hunt for the poon. The poon came to him. It's like on that episode of The Simpsons where they go through Bible stories and that pig just comes up to Homer and says, hey, you want some bacon today? And rolls over and he just peels the bacon off. That's what was happening. But instead of bacon, it was that sweet, sweet trim.
So he's not even a poon hunter? Your certification process is all out of whack.
He's an Adonis.
We're going to need to look at your accreditation after this episode, okay?
Fine. Vampiro needs to come on here so I can praise him for, what would you call that? I guess a poon attractor?
Poon
magnet.
Poon magnet. But how do they work?
Muff magnet. It's a miracle.
During the opening athletics, which are beautiful, by the way, like they're very, very hot immediately. Vampiro sincerely thanks Matt. Vampiro says it feels like he's at Matt's house having a couple beers, watching wrestling. Just two best friends. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else than the temple.
Mm-hmm. He does say in the beginning that Stryker, as you commented on, was asking Vampiro, hey, you know more about Pentagon. Tell me about it. And Vamp goes, hi, quit pulling me back into the darkness, Stryker, which also happens when Stryker is trying to get him to go spelunking.
Mm-hmm. But and we all know Vampiro hates spelunking, but he loves Matt Stryker. So he's willing to step outside of his comfort zone and realize maybe he doesn't hate spelunking. Maybe he was just kind of afraid of it.
Yeah, and he doesn't even need to, he saw the descent and he doesn't even need to go down in there to get those weird, like pale
Skulls.
ladies with the weird titties. No, they come up to him.
Because he's always fucking. James, I do think we should write... If we have a time machine, we should go back to like 2014 and pitch a web series of just Matt and Vampiro learning to get along.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if they were just like little like 5-minute YouTube clips of Matt and Vampiro, they live in the same house. They have an apartment above the temple that they share together. And that's just odd couple shenanigans 24/7. You know?
It's like Garfield and Odie.
It is. It's like Garfield and John Arbuckle.
Or I guess Garfield and Nermal.
Or like Garfield and Heathcliff.
Oh, yeah, let's just do that. Because they're both very wild presences.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, let's just write a fan fiction about Garfield and Heathcliff. Then we'll see if Vampiro and Matt Stryker can voice the characters.
You know, on fanfic.net, there is so much Heathcliff meets Garfield. It's also happened in Heathcliff.
Has it really? Okay. What?
Yeah.
Was it? I feel like I should read Heathcliff sometimes.
It's just one a day, and they're very funny or just very, I don't know what's going on.
Very confusing, but we love it. Yeah. Sorry, I got lost in the sauce thinking about how much I love Vampiro and Matt Stryker's friendship.
I got a t-shirt that says, don't get lost in the sauce from Mom's Spaghetti, the restaurant.
Yeah, shouts out to Mom's Spaghetti and moms everywhere, whether they like Dominic Mysterio or not. Penta hits Sling Blade, Puma, Springboard Clothesline, Twisting Moonsault Tope. It's like literally so much wrestling in under 2 minutes. Beautifully timed dropkick from Penta to upset like a mid-handspring upside down Puma. Like he's on his hands doing some upside down shit and he just gets kicked in the face instead. Let's listen to the beautiful sound as Penta chops Puma. Same chops as recently lauded by former WWE Intercontinental Champion, top chopper in the world, Gunther, formerly Walter, recently had an interview with Fightful, with Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful, who said, while wrestling Penta in Germany before he got signed to WWE, I was split open, bleeding from the chest, right away. I was just like, what happened? That's like, which is... James is shaking his head. A lot of people, if you don't like that hard-nosed style, that's fair. For those of us who do, that shit's awesome. Penta's fucking great.
I'm shaking my head because he's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this to happen. Imagine just like, hey, I'm hanging out with my friend and all of a sudden your chest just gets ripped open.
Yeah, well, it is a little, I mean, they weren't just like drinking...
I know.
Drinking Yahoos outside the 7-Eleven. Yeah. Drinking Yahoos outside the 7-Eleven. Yoo-hoos. Yahoo is not a drink.
Also, like,
it was so important for me to get that line out.
Are you from Hey Arnold?
What? You don't drink Yoo-hoos outside the 7-Eleven?
So, but at this time, my mom, I don't think is used to this of everyone saying like a hush falling over the crowd just specifically for chops. So she's like, what? Which
is funny because that is, I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time it happened, but in WWE, when Big Show would chop, he would physically go, shh, and like do a big thing with his mouth before chopping someone in the corner. But it's one of those things, as a performer, I think in anything, anytime you take a moment to kind of lower the energy, it's a risk, right? When you take the time to like, I'm going to do something that will lower the energy so that it will pick back up in the next spike. I'm going to specifically put in a breathing moment so that the next time it gets real loud, it gets extra real loud. Like it's a risk to do that. You don't necessarily know that they're going to come back up. You need to trust that whatever you're doing will pick them back up.
Yeah, I think it was Sarah Silverman talking about stand-up was saying, it might have been in her book, of having to learn that silence is okay. Like, you don't need to just, like, fill every minute and every second of a set. Like, the silence is actually good. It lets people breathe, and then you can go back and do a hard joke.
Yeah. Or in the case here, do a big old hard chop to the titties.
Real quick, Sean, have you watched or heard Chris Gethard's Career Suicide?
I need to. We talked about this a couple of times, and I still haven't seen it yet.
You should come over and watch it. We saw it live. Okay. It's so good. Come over.
Very exciting. I will. I don't have a transition. I'm just excited to come over and watch Chris Gethard's Career Suicide.
Well, hey, you'll be coming over just like someone's coming down some stairs.
Ooh, in the middle of this, I can't stress enough how much has happened in less than, at this point, 4 minutes. But coming down the stairs, your Lucha Underground champion himself, Mil fucking Muertes. Don't worry, we're fine. He has the arm sling on. He hasn't been cleared to compete ever since Penta broke his arm. So as long as he's got that arm sling on, James, I think we're going to be okay.
And at this moment, my mom said, "Who is that?"
On site. Your mom was like, "Who is that on site with Mil?"
Saying he's giant. Oh my God. And I said, "Mom, there's an injustice with this man because under that mask is a handsome fucking dude."
But he's the man of 1,000 deaths with that mask on.
I did also say when she said, "Who is that man?" I said, well, he's not a man. He's technically like a demon or something.
Yeah. Or if he was a demon, I don't think he knows he's a demon. I think Katrina does, but I don't think Mil knows that he's a demon totally.
I guess he's more so a revenant.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, because he still retains his identity. He still maintains Pascal Mendoza, right?
I mean, yes, but he's also Mil Muertes.
Yes. He is Mil Muertes with the mask, and I think Mil, that's his Batman. That's his the title he now dons. Mil Muertes, the man of 1,000 deaths. But because in this episode he gets called, or I don't know, maybe she was dead naming him when she called him Pascal Mendoza.
Could be.
Maybe as a tool of manipulation. Again, these are not the good guys. Yeah, but so he comes down, and I think, James, we're fine, we're safe. He's still got that arm sling on. As he rips off the sling, gets in the ring, and beats the shit out of two of the top guys in the entire fucking company. Two of the most important guys you have decimated. And albeit a short but a lot happening in that match. They just did a lot to each other in a very short amount of time, so they might be sleepy little boys, but he beats the shit out of them.
Wait, Jack Evans was in the ring?
Two of the most important people to Lucha Libre that are not Jack Evans.
Because he's the most important. He invented it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Chokeslam to Penta. Pumas gives him a super kick, literally doesn't even affect him. Right hand knockout. Match is officially thrown out at 4 minutes 56 seconds before we get spear to Penta, spear to Puma, simultaneous double flatliners to his two challengers. Fucking statement made by your champion.
My mom said he picked both of them up. Oh my God. That's got to be 400 pounds easy. Yeah, I think that's 500.
Mil's a fucking menace, and we love him. We cut back from commercial to a Sorkin-style hallway scene. They're walking, they're talking. Katrina assures Mil that all he needed was a little motivation. And what Mil did tonight was nothing. Next week, he wants to defend his championship against both men. because this is his temple and no one will stop Mil Muertes. So, Triple Threat next week. Fucking let's go. And at the desk, we've got even more breaking news. In 3 weeks' time, 20 fighters will collide in Aztec Warfare 2, Lucha Underground's over-the-top battle royale, think Royal Rumble, to crown the #1 contender for the heavyweight title. But first, we first must this week go to our main event, the Gift of the Gods title ladder match.
And real quick, an update for our listeners. That means in 3 episodes from now, we are going to be doing a Aztec Warfare watch-along.
Let's fucking go.
Because I think for the pay-per-view style things like the huge events, we gotta do watch-alongs.
I'm down with that. I am absolutely down with that. It also makes it easier for you to do our sweet-ass TikTok clips.
And, oh my boy, it's going to be darker, more disturbed, and more violent. Oh boy.
Yeah, let's
I wasn't
fucking
calling
go.
you boy, if that's what you thought.
Okay, because you did say, oh my boy, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my boy. Yeah, my boy is Henry in the other room.
Okay, I was okay with it. It took me a minute, but like, no, I liked it.
Oh my boy, I love you, Sean.
I love you too, James.
You're on equal footing ground as Henry.
That, I know that's not true, but I appreciate you saying it.
There's a Crumb Bums that I want to write where it's someone like, it's Henry, Franklin, Nicole, and Butter. They're hanging out and they're like, oh yeah, that's my best bud. Like, oh, we're James's best buds talking to someone. And they're like, well, he can't have like 4 best buds. And then they're like, huh? No, shut up. Yeah, he can. We're all his best buds. And then you pop in and say, yeah, we're all 5 his best buds. And they say, oh, no, I don't think so, Sean.
That is.
You are not a part of this.
And then it's just me smiling like, yep, all 5 of us.
It would work better as like an animated intro to an episode of a show, but we can't do that.
Well, we can, just not right now. If you want to help us do that, get on that Patreon.
Yeah, at, I don't know, $5,000 a month, we'll start animating Crumb Bums.
Hell yeah. Gift of the Gods title ladder match. We'll get there, but much like to become the Gift of the Gods champion, we got to take this one rung at a time. One $5,000 Patreon subscription at a time. This match is between Fénix and King Cuerno. Right, Fénix, of course, currently on AEW. King Cuerno, now Santos Escobar, in the WWE. Is that fear? Is that adrenaline? Is that confidence? That's just Fénix. When you can like give a full 3-dimensional character analysis in literally however many words that is, like less than 15, I love it. That's just Fénix, baby.
My mom was like, those are some dirty ladders. And I'm like, this is a Hollywood production, Mom. It's made to look dirty.
Yeah, they go out of their way to be, because this is underground as fuck. This is not sanctioned. Too much. If you're using dark magic, you can't also use like ladder cleaner. Like you can't all of your cleaning supplies, all your cleaning supply closets, they gotta like now hold crystals and like blood skulls and all these like, ritualistic items.
Yeah, but in that same sense, you can't claim to be underground, but also have like a NFL style like swooping camera above the studio.
I don't know why they do that. I think, you know what? And I think that's just LA, because I do think you could actually, I think if anywhere in this country you could have an underground fighting dark magic arena and also have NFL level of production quality.
Yeah.
It's Los Angeles, baby.
I am reading Batman Knightfall, and currently the Joker is convinced a movie studio to fund his project to shoot a film called The Death of Batman, which is just a like narrative snuff film of him killing Batman, which he succeeds in getting $10 million of funding.
10?
Yes, because the company is like, hey, this is the only thing that can get us box office, okay? Everything else on the slate will not.
It's not even, it's the only thing that will get us out of here. If not, he'll kill us. It's the only thing. Movies are dead. Netflix has killed us. We need to fund this, or else people are just gonna keep on watching season 2 of One Piece.
There's also a weird thing that they say oh, I need to get off this call. It's currently 4 a.m. in Hollywood. But that would only be an issue is if it's earlier where you're at, and then the Joker comes to them and says like, hey, you got to get some shut-eye. Maybe they're only filming at night, so it could be it just means like, where's Gotham in relation to the country in here? So I got very confused with that. Everything else, fantastic. Batman Knightfall, I'm on volume 2 about halfway through. It's so good.
Read it. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, and I kind of wish I did, because I know you're not a fan of longer matches. I do enjoy a good longer match. I like a nice slow story. This felt more plodding, I guess, than I wish it did.
Yeah. I think that's the Cuerno of it all. He's a hunter, so he's like creeping in the shadows sometimes.
It's a lot of, which I love that. I love that since I praised that the second he came out, that he is constantly stalking his prey. He is waiting for opportunities. The big running punt to the ribs as Fénix is trying to stand up. Amazing. And I wonder, it also might go back to, I'm not sure how they filmed these, but if they filmed this right after that the Pentagon Puma match. That Pentagon Puma match had how much in under 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then this is kind of the opposite. And you almost wish like I wish they would have split the time a little bit more. Like, it's a ladder match main event. Having it go beyond 10 makes total sense. But like if they gave the ladder match 10 and then put an extra 6 minutes onto, or maybe something like that, but just putting an extra 3 minutes onto Penta and Puma, and then giving another extra 3 to Sexy and Cobra, I think would have helped a lot. Easier to say, armchair booker, and with the power of hindsight, a lot easier to say now than then.
Well, they also had a vignette that they just couldn't get done in time. This is what I read, where Jack Evans was playing Dragon's Lair, but was like, I'm going to do this to Puma, and just kept getting whomped Drago, every single time, just getting whomped. And he's like, I can't get past the first stage. And then Drago comes and looks at him and just kind of chuckles and walks away. And he says, I'll get you, Drago.
Ooh, and as he's shaking his fist, we zoom in onto the high score screen, and it's all Drago.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that.
And it's just 10 perfect scores, all Drago.
Hell yeah. This match is not a perfect score. If you're a Fénix fan or if you're a Santos fan, I think it's always interesting because it's not bad. Like, that's the hard part. It's not bad. But you even hear the crowd is not quite there for this one. It takes them a while to get there. For some great stuff, the powerbomb onto the ladder in the corner is fucking sweet. I mentioned the punt to the ribs, which immediately then becomes like an Irish whip into the ladder against the office. There's, of course, a ladder leading against the office. That gets countered. Cuerno catches himself onto the ladder, like he leaps like a cat, and then he just flying clotheslines off of it.
He would not like you, considering he looks like a cat. He's like, that's what I hunt.
Oh, okay. He leaps onto the ladder wait, cats? Oh, cats hunt like a lioness, like a lion with a big juicy vagina.
Ew, what?
The greatest hunter in the Sahara. Those lionesses are crazy efficient hunters
because they have a juicy vagina, sir.
I think King Cuerno would appreciate me calling him a juicy vagina jungle cat.
Okay. Real quick on Engage with Nicolas Cage last week, we were discussing National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets, and one of the characters hacks into a home's security and he says, that's why you got to get a dog. And I go, no, man, dogs suck at that. Unless, I guess what you need is like a shotgun wired to the door. When it gets pulled open, it shoots. That's the best form of security.
I was so afraid you were going to say a shotgun wired to the dog. So that when the dog barks, it just gets shot in the...
No, but what happened, then I said, or I guess you could like put a dog on like a catapult that's wired to the door and it like swings out, and Nicole says, how come all of your contraptions involve harming a dog?
Always, specifically a dog, never just an animal, never just a pet. No, it's a dog is getting the worst end. Now, if you give that dog a shotgun so just like mid-air through the catapult, the dog's just like puts on a pair of sunglasses and takes out a Terminator shotgun. I'd be on board because then we're empowering the dog.
Oh yeah, ILM could do that.
Just the catapult alone? No, thank you. But catapult with a shotgun? Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Can I get some of my notes out?
Absolutely.
Vampiro says, man, they're running on adrenaline. My favorite drug. Built my career on it.
I mean, yeah. We saw some of those Vampiro bloodbaths.
And we built our career on melatonin.
Yeah.
This is a temple. This ain't Home Depot, guys. So these ladders are here to be fucking wild.
Yeah, fuck. You know what? I don't need help to the paint section. I'm gonna paint this place in fucking blood.
And Stryker says about Cuerno, oh, he's being like psychological right now. And Vampiro says, psychological? How about psychopathic? And then Stryker says, Vamp, you know it's against your contract to talk about juggalo shit.
And then Vampiro says, what is a juggalo? I don't know. And then Mad Stryker quickly cuts to commercial.
Also, during that portion when it's going into the crowd now, Cuerno's really trying to take out Fénix. Vampiro, I believe, says this isn't a tactic. This is hate. This is hurt, which is also Sean dating my exes. Not hatred or hurt towards me. It's towards himself, baby.
Hey, first of all, listen to the Rom Complex and know what we're talking about. Second of all, let me at them exes.
Please, any of my exes date Sean. He's a good guy.
If you have an ex or are an ex yourself, date me. I'm a good guy.
Sean, you would have to be a stepfather in all of these scenarios.
Hey, I won't be a stepfather. I'll step up.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy, let's fucking go. I've seen enough holiday-based rom-coms to know what it means to step up. That is one of my favorites. Like when it's just like oh man, she moved back to town with her child and I still love her though. And then the child is like, hey, you're really good to me. And then the guy's like, I am really good to you, child. I love that shit.
Sean, on Formulaic next month, the episode's already recorded. That's literally, it's just what happens in our movie.
I've been like, so Formulaic, also listen to that with James over here and R2 Shelby too at twitch.tv. I have been, and Shelby's a friend of mine as well. Hi, Nicole.
Wrap it up. We gotta leave.
Oh, wait, I thought it starts at 1.
Yeah, we have to set up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Listen to that formula like it's going to be great. End of the match, Fénix wins the match. You kind of nailed it before. This part of it, Vampiro keeps harping on. This isn't a match about strategy and winning. This is a rivalry. They do want to hurt each other. So it takes them a while to get up that ladder, about 16 minutes and 41 seconds. But Fénix does get up there. He regaining his Gift of the Gods title. He holds his title at Mill. Mill stands up from his chair, holds his title back at Fénix. Mill's eyes are crazy. Fénix's ass is broken. Good night, folks.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Katrina wants. She wants another rematch to like show like Fénix is done for, fuckers. Or maybe she wants him as her co-ruler. I do want to say, last week I was very hard on refs, about them not looking at all parties.
Very hard on refs.
This episode, you see a ref do, like, this is what they do. When they crawl up the ladder the first time and hold on to the bell, and then the ladder gets kicked down, you see the ref with so much urgency run in and move the ladder, knowing that they're going, like, in, story, they're going to fall down, to make sure that they don't hit any part of the ladder. Mwah. Perfect job you're doing. 2 thumbs up. Now look everywhere.
Sometimes I will say that if I even think last week, as much as we criticize sort of like the storytelling use of refs as the characters, it's really easy to be like, refs, why? How did you not see that? Especially the refs in this show are professionally, like actually being in place, moving the ladder out of the way, taking care of the performers. Phenomenal stuff. Marty Elias, I think, was reffing this one. Chef's kiss.
And we will get a ref on here probably in the new year. It's busy right now.
Hell yeah. And if you want to come over on Twitch and yell at me for not getting a guest yet while I play Dark Souls, you can do that at twitch.tv/Goose Von Kaiser. And we'll have a lot of fun.
Hey guys, Thursday the 30th, 6 p.m. Central Time, the Darling Homebody Shopping Network. It's 20% off everything. Please come. Every $100 made, i.e. the Hot Ones Last Dab sauce. It's going to be real hot, real fun, real spicy. It's Nicole selling her merch, darlinghomebody.com or at Darling Homebody on Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok, all her social media for more details. And I set it up front if this is before the 30th when you're listening to this. And head over to patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. This week, we are putting out our Ernest Saves Christmas episode of This Existed. It's going to be real fun. Yay, yay. And if you're a $10 patron, you get all of that, plus monthly exclusive content and shout outs on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z, the Waz, Orion, Jordan B, the KS Witch, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua Jacus, Steve Barnes of Sweet Child of Time, and Intro Void, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate Shane, that fed, twitch.tv/core winning, it's Corwin, and from the Rom Complex, please, I was just on the Rom Complex talking about Christmas is canceled, go listen to that, and from Formulaic, a podcast and script writing, it's twitch.tv/R2Shelby2. I've been James.
I've been Sean, Purple Prancer forever. Bye-bye.
And it's sweaty time. Bye.